Hey guys, buckle up for another episode of Blow the Iceberg, the one and only podcast where we talk to real life 2 Comma Club winners. Whether you're a small business owner, an entrepreneur, a wannabe entrepreneur, or you've been in business for a while, you're sure to pick up tidbits of actionable advice that you can put into play from these $1 million entrepreneurs. Now, if you don't know what a 2 Comma Club winner is, it's where somebody has built one funnel, which is like a landing page, inside the ClickFunnels software, and they have put $1 million worth of sales through that one funnel, which is absolutely amazing. Now, in today's episode, I'm really excited to be talking with Steve Ezaki, who's gone from being on the wrong side of the law to winning a 2 Comma Club X award, which is 10 million through one funnel for his clients. So let's dive in and find out the path that Steve has taken and all the unexpected hurdles that jumped in his way. Welcome, Steve, to Below the Iceberg.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. Appreciate you.
It is awesome to have you here. And I want to say congratulations on getting a 2 Comma Club. And I can see behind you the 10X, which is amazing.
Yes. It's hard to believe, but I mean, seeing other people have it, that's like, oh my goodness, that's just so far away. That's so unreachable. But yet we ended up doing it within a 2-year period from getting the first one.
That's awesome. Absolutely awesome.
Amazing.
So what I like to do with my guests is
Yes.
I like to go check them out on social media and see what I can find.
Okay, sure.
So I did that with you. On your Facebook personal profile, you've got about 2.8 thousand friends on your profile. Design Dream Labs is what I was looking up. On Facebook, Instagram, you got about 1,000 followers. I know that you have a Facebook group, but I couldn't find it. How many people have you got in your group?
Well, I have a few groups, not many at all, because when I put that together, I ended up having an epiphany, and so I ended up having a pivot. So and change it all up. So I decided to add my passions into the mix. So first I started off wanting to do a coaching program for personal development, and then I wanted to do it for entrepreneurship geared toward agencies. But I realized that I need to get my passions involved, which is obviously music. And so I'm gearing it towards the artistpreneur now.
Right.
And when I decided to do that, it all fits. So
well, the reason I like to look at people's profiles is it's good indication for our audiences to find out that you can achieve 2 Comma Clubs with very small followings.
Absolutely.
I know some people have big followings, but it's a really good indication to show them. So do you want to tell our listeners exactly what it is that you do?
Okay. So I won the award with the agency that I helped build, the Dream Design Labs, with Brandon Guthrie, my partner. And we serve Christian contractors, home improvement contractors, to help them to scale to 8 and 9 figures and above, and so they can have more time and impact to help build homes for the homeless, really.
Right. And all right. Okay.
That's what we do.
When did you hit the first 2 Comma Club?
That was in actually 2020.
All right. Okay.
We built the one funnel for a client, and it took off, and we didn't even realize that we qualified for 2 Comma Club. We realized after we hit like the 4 million mark.
All right. Okay.
Which is already a few months in. We're like, hey, I think we qualified. So we checked it out, and sure enough, we qualified. We were too late to receive it in 2020 at FHL, so we received it in 2021. Last year. Okay. Yeah, a year ago.
So was it a goal to hit the 2 Comma Club when you were doing that, or did it just happen?
In the back of our minds, yeah. But at that time, ClickFunnels wasn't quite the main methodology, but it turned out to be the ticket that and because we call it a super system. We use Facebook ads, primarily Facebook ads, to ClickFunnels, and a follow-up CRM, and the system works super well. And as long as our clients can follow up and close them, a high closing rate,
Yeah.
then that's a formula for a 2 Comma Club award right there.
All right. Okay. So when you did realize that you'd hit the 2 Comma Club, did you have a celebration?
A little celebration, yeah. That first year we were so busy. I mean, we would work from sun up to sundown. We had gotten the office and we pretty much lived in the office.
Right. Okay.
So we were on we probably gained like 5 clients in that short period of time. And so we were just rocking and rolling. It was just 2 of us, and we were well, 3 of us, our media buyer too. And we were just rocking and rolling and put our heads down grinding that very first year.
Right.
So
Okay.
it's been 3 years. It's been 3 years since then.
Okay. So what about when you hit the 10x one then? Was
When
that a goal then? Was that a goal?
That turned into a goal because it was a reality at the rate we're going. It was definitely a goal. We pretty much knew by the time last year, at this time last year, we pretty much knew that we were gonna get it. And we found out shortly after that it hit the 10 million. So for this whole year, yeah, we knew we were gonna get that. Yeah.
And did
So
you have a bigger celebration then?
we had a bigger celebration, yeah. Although we couldn't say it was a real big celebration because we were still grinding.
Okay.
Not as recklessly, but yeah, it was a bigger celebration. But our really big, we have the goal for hitting the 100 million one.
All right. Okay.
That's a reality. So first you get the 25 million, 2
Yeah.
more, the 100. So you're
going for that
on our
next. Okay.
absolutely.
So you were just, so for the funnel that hit the million and then the 10, was that the same funnel?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
So Facebook ads to ClickFunnels, what sort of funnel was it then?
I'm sorry, what?
So what they did so people went from the Facebook ad, they landed on the landing page on ClickFunnels. What was the actual funnel? Was it an application that they had to fill out, or what?
Yes, it was an application. So since we serve residential contractors, it's geared towards getting an in-home appointment. So
Right.
that's another key to our success is the show up rate to appointments is going to be 100% because it's our client showing up to their home as opposed to making an appointment and maybe 50% show up type of thing.
Okay,
so that's another key factor.
Did the person who landed on the Facebook page, Facebook ad, they went to the landing page, did they book the appointment themselves, or did you have a phone call first that booked the appointment?
It was a book an appointment. But then the methodology is call them within 5 minutes. So the follow-up system calls them in 5 minutes, the actual person.
All right. Okay.
And so they get it so that they actually talk to a person and get all the relationship started.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Awesome. Okay, so let's do a little bit of a rewind. Let's go back to your childhood. What was your childhood? What was your childhood like? Where did you grow up?
My childhood. Okay, I was born in East LA, California, East Los Angeles. Cheech and Chong was my reality. I had my dad. Okay, let me rewind. My dad and mom, they grew up in East Los Angeles. My dad was he was a Japanese lowrider in 50s and 60s. He grew up there, and my mom, a Chicana. It was like it was different. It was really interesting. So I grew up with like I said, Cheech and Chong was my reality. So I grew up in this world of custom culture. My dad worked on lowriders. Before that, there were lowrider shops. He would tell me stories that he had to go to the airports and steal the hydraulics from the plane, the graveyards for the plane, the junkyards for the planes to get hydraulics, and then they would put them on their cars. So I had a lot of history like that. And then in LA, East LA, there's a lot of the history of low riding and just you know, it was like gang capital and
Right.
you know, the barrios. So a lot of that is a lot of do it yourself, you know, homegrown style of living. So um custom culture was my reality. So I I was born and raised believing that I could do anything. I could make anything. I could make my life exactly how I want it to be. So that stuck with me my entire life. And so I always had that underlying everything I did.
So what did your parents do for work?
My dad was he was a blue collar worker. He worked for the city of LA Department of Water and Power. My mom was pretty much she stayed at home, then she worked a regular job when I was getting a little bit older. Um,
And what was your dream? What did you want to be when you grew up?
well, let's see. Uh, really, I was pretty much a product of my environment. I wanted to be, uh, I wanted to just skateboard and I wanted to play my guitar
Okay.
and just be the cool guy in my neighborhood. So
So where did the guitar thing come from? Was there music in your family?
yeah, okay. So, you know, being in lowrider culture, it's all about cars and music, right?
Right.
Oldies. I grew up listening to oldies, lowrider oldies, you
Oh,
know,
right, okay.
soul, you know, a little funkies, and so that's always been in you know, just like my life. You know, what do you call it? The my music, my background, and my music in my background, you know, in my life,
Right, okay.
and so it was always just an influence. Music was always an influence, and so I guess the guitar came to my life well, when I was 11, my parents got a divorce, and so it left me it left me confused, angry, and so at that time, that's when the punk rock thing was happening, you know,
Oh,
the
right,
hardcore punk
okay.
rock stuff, and I just really, I naturally I gravitated towards that. And so the guitar playing it allowed me to express, you know, get my aggression out, anger, a lot of punk rock going on and local neighborhood things. So it was all within reach and a lot of expression going on. And so that became my guitar became something that was very therapeutic to me, which I didn't realize it at the time, but
Right.
it was a thing that kept me sane.
Oh, right, okay. So did you go to college?
I went to a little bit of college. Studied I studied fashion merchandising and then took an art class. Not a whole lot. I ended up, you know, ended up having to work. I tried to do the college thing.
Yep.
It just didn't work. So I you know, I did a lot of I learned I got a job in the department store and I learned, you know, learned about commission jobs and sales. But
Okay.
I also got like blue collar jobs, driving jobs, really, you know, a lot of warehouses where I live. So
So
it was
did you
easy to
have
do that.
a lot of different jobs when you were
Yes.
younger?
Yeah, absolutely. I had a lot of different jobs. And then I ended up kind of not giving up, but giving in. And I saw opportunity and I joined the army.
Oh,
Okay.
right, okay.
And so, you know, they offered, you know, school benefits and stuff. So I went, I learned a pharmacy technician. It was called pharmacy specialist. I went learned pharmacy technician. I came back, got a job in the pharmacy.
So how long
I
were
did
you in the army for?
it was well, I did reserve, so I went to training for a year, then came back home and served. It was an 8 year obligation. I did like 4 years active, and then the rest were inactive.
All right, okay.
Left honorably, but so basically, I ended up working I worked in the pharmacy for 4 years, which
Okay.
was really good money. It was good money. And
What were you actually doing there?
so I assisted the pharmacists with doing basically pulling all the it was an inpatient pharmacy. It worked in the hospital. So
All right, okay.
I worked alongside the pharmacists and basically punched all the orders when the doctors do their rounds. I'd punch the orders in
All right, okay.
computer and fill the dosages.
And
And I would do that
what
for.
happened to that job then?
I realized that it just I wasn't built for that type of work.
And what was the key to decide? Did you leave?
I kind of just burnt out and I let myself get fired
Oh,
type
right.
thing.
Okay.
And that was by the time I was 25. So basically I I tell people I just that's when I decided to retire. 25. That was like my last like real legit job for a long time really. But yeah, 25 I retired and I decided um I was just gonna pursue playing my guitar.
All
I
right.
really didn't. My my retirement plan was I had disability, uh, and then unemployment, and then I had some disability, and that lasted a couple years, and then that got me by until the street entrepreneur kicked in.
All right. Okay. And what happened in your life for that to kick in?
Um, I just realized that I wanted to do more than just what was offered to me. Um, okay, so my dad, he blue collar worker, he told me just get a good job and stay there and retire. And that might have worked for him. It worked well for him, but for me, it just did not sit right.
Okay.
And so, you know, wanting to please my parents, yeah, I wanted to do things conventional way. But deep down inside, it was torment. Um, I would get anxious after a while, and I would feel trapped. So when the kick in thing, so I that was like the best decision I made in my life. Retiring, retiring at 25. I kind of it's really funny because initially I was thinking, okay, I'm just gonna decide to be a loser and just seek my happiness, right? And but it turned out to be the most winningest decision I ever made.
So what did you do then when you came to the realization you wanted to do the entrepreneurial thing? What did you do?
What did I do? Well, came out of necessity. Um, like I said, I just envisioned myself playing my guitar and having a great time in life playing my guitar, which really did happen. Um, but out of necessity, I had to be able to support that dream, right?
Yep.
And so that's when the street entrepreneur kicked in, and basically I supported my punk rock career for almost 20 years by selling weed, selling
Right.
marijuana.
Okay.
Before it was legal, but
Oh, right. Okay. So that's what started. So that started that off. Okay. And then what happened then after that?
what happened that okay, so I did that for like almost 20 years.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it got to the point where um I was flying to your part of the world and meeting up with all my album cover heroes and visiting them and planning on setting up tours in England and because we made in Long Beach and in England we made a brotherhood. So every
Right.
time they came to, because it's all DIY punk rock, right? It's do it
Okay.
yourself stuff, so low budget. And so they would come to when they played in LA, they would stay at our houses in Long Beach, and and we would take care of them. And then when anybody from our crew went up there, they took care of us in the same way.
All right.
So
Okay.
yeah, so it was like a networking thing too.
So then what happened then? So how that obviously came to an end.
It yeah.
How did you discover then the next stage and get into the ClickFunnels world? What happened then?
Okay, so the transition was um that was okay, so that was kind of like beta testing entrepreneurialism for me. It was like it was very organic,
Yep.
unplanned. But I did
Illegal.
illegal, yes. Um, I paid I paid for my crimes already, so
Oh,
I'm
have
clean
you?
there. Yes.
What happened then?
I got caught and
Oh, did
got
you?
arrested. Yeah, I got arrested and you know,
And did you go to
uh,
prison?
I didn't go to prison, but I just did a county time. That was first offense, so it was, it's kind of like a slap on the wrist, but uh I've always thought that okay, I'm gonna do it until I get caught, and when I get caught, I'll stop. And that's pretty much what what I did. And
It's a good
and
job you didn't get sent to prison then, isn't it?
right, yeah, I know many people that went to prison. Yeah, that's
So
not a good route.
when that
As
happened then, what did you think? What was your plan?
well, I I decided that I mean that really that's where by this time I had my daughter was like 1 years old,
All right.
and so I really thought about it, and I thought, what am I doing? What am I doing in my life to teach her success and teaching her ethics and morals and just a good way to be. So um long story short, well, I did stuff like read the book The Secret and and start working on my mentality and which worked for very good, but I realized even further there's one step further than just my mentality. I had to work on my spirituality.
Right.
And so long story short, I did uh I did come to God, not in the conventional way. I ended up started going to a rock and roll skateboard biker gangster church,
All right.
and
Okay.
where
That sounds interesting. They
yeah, it
don't
was
have
very
them over
interesting.
here.
Yeah, yeah. They so they did teach out of the Bible, but uh everything else was very unconventional, which was the perfect combination for me. So I got the principles. I believe the Bible is a success, is the ultimate success book. It teaches everything, all these mindset, you know, um methodologies that we hear. It's all in there. So uh I believe I took those principles and I kept them with me. And so did a lot of personal development. Um I tapped into Brendan Burchard, which who spoke at FHL last
Yeah. So
he was one of my first ones.
how did you find these people then? What were you doing? Were you searching online of
I
what were you
searched online. Yeah, kind of fast forward. I I s- when I met my wife and her family, I met them at church. I
All
started
right.
working for my wife's dad.
All right, okay.
Before she was my wife, I worked for him an IT company, and they gave me a phone. They gave me an iPhone. So I had that. I didn't up until then I was pretty much I didn't even have a computer or anything.
All right, okay.
And so I had the iPhone and I was able to check my emails at that point, anytime. So I started using my emails and I realized, I was doing my personal development and I clicked on a Facebook ad, saw Brendan Burchard, opted into his stuff, his free PDF, and I got into his funnel, right?
All right, okay.
All right. Same thing with like Ty Lopez, for business development, right? And tapped in, got into his funnel, and I was a part of that. And I also wanted to learn about finance and just all, all the above. I needed to get educated, and I realized I learned real quick. So I learned as a consumer, um, that if I just gave my email, then I'll just get all this information sent to my inbox, and I didn't have to search for it. And so what happened was the best marketers, the ones who did the best, I think Agora Financial was the first one, the first financial company that I subscribed to. They would send VSLs and anything that had a video, especially VSL. I
Yeah.
would I would press it and I would just put it on my dashboard, I did a lot of driving for the IT company.
All right,
I did a
okay.
lot of driving, so I turned my car into a university on wheels, right? And so every day I check my inbox and there'll be a new VSL and I'd learn about financing, right?
All right, okay.
Finances and investments. And so I just knew that I could just put my email somewhere and everything would come to me. And all I had to do is click on it and that would be my education. So I
So
learned
you
as
so
as a
you were
consumer.
still working at the IT company while you were learning all this at the same time.
Absolutely, yep. Hmm.
But then what happened next to move you on to the next stage?
Okay. So there was a key thing that happened. Um, by this time, I've been married for a few years. And my wife, she was diagnosed with at the time what we thought was a an autoimmune condition, but it called endometriosis.
Right.
And she she every month she'd have, it would be really painful in her cycles, and so she couldn't work, and so it ended up where I had to stop work. She had to stop working. Then ended up I had to stop working to take care of her
All
because
right. Okay.
there wasn't any, there wasn't much help. It's a really new, mysterious disease, women's disease, and so that's when I realized I better figure out how to learn how to do this make money online thing,
Right.
and you know, and I didn't know how much it's going to cost, so I knew I was going to have to make a lot of money. Just so that's what really got me into the entrepreneurialism. Um, I was already going through Brendon Burchard stuff, looking at Ty Lopez stuff, learning about investments in finance. I looked at the Robert Kiyosaki, the four quadrants of income, and I realized I better learn investments, and I better be a business owner, because I grew up, blue collar, working a job, trading dollars for hours,
Yeah.
and even being self-employed. There's limitations. So uh, yeah, that's when I really dove into it. The personal development really worked. The business education online really worked, and so I just kept going with it.
So what
And
did you do? How did you start? Did you start your own business then?
what I did, I started, well, I the one Ty Lopez product, the social media marketing agency, clicked with me. Um, I by this time I was able to by this time I had to give up my apartment and move in with my dad in
Oh
up in
right. Okay.
the high desert. Had a little corner in the living room, me and my wife, and and I set up my computer in his living room. I mean his kitchen
Right.
table, and I just went through the programs like it was a college curriculum. So every morning I'd wake up and I would show up and do my courses and learn. And so I was prepping uh, to start a digital marketing, social media marketing agency.
All right. Okay.
Okay.
Who were you learning from then? Ty Lopez.
Ty Lopez, right.
All right. Okay.
I
Going
did
through
by
his
this time
courses.
I did know about Russell Brunson's ClickFunnels. So this was probably about 2 years into Russell Brunson starting ClickFunnels,
All right.
but I didn't quite have a need for it yet. So I just didn't get it yet. But I knew I always wanted to.
All right. Okay.
You
So
know,
how did you find out about ClickFunnels then? How did he become in your?
I got the .com secrets. I have it up on my
All
shelf right
right.
here.
Okay.
.com secrets, and I read that first, and that really clicked.
Okay.
That
And
really
how
clicked. I
did you
understand.
find that book? Where did you find it?
It was yeah, it was online. Everything I did was give my email, and
So
so I was locked in. I was in the algorithm.
it was just an ad that came
Hmm.
along, was it?
Yeah,
It found you.
I purposely positioned myself like, hey, send me stuff. Hey, I'm that guy. You know,
Okay,
that's why I believe in it so much, because it worked for me.
so you're in the kitchen on your computer learning every day.
Hmm.
How long did you do that for?
Let's see. I did multiple courses, and I did that for like 6 months.
Okay.
I did that for 6 months. And then so within that time was when I went down to see Ty Lopez speak in San Diego, which is a couple hours away, and that's when I met Brandon Guthrie, who had Dream Design Labs at that time, but it was just a one-man show.
All right.
But
Okay.
we met each other down there, and we hooked up. We exchanged numbers, and because we both lived up in this direction in LA, Orange County, so I kept in contact with him, and I realized that I wanted to have a person that was more experienced than me that I could fall back on, or you know, rely on, or just basically hook up with, which actually did happen. So I got a client of my own served him, and then I needed more of a team, so I hooked up with Brandon and we served my client. And then
And what was your first client? What were you doing for them?
wow, it was I gave him, you know, I gave him the farm. I for like $1,000 a month. I promised him a YouTube build out, Instagram, um, a Shopify store, um, and running his Facebook ads.
All right. Okay.
And what he had was he had a surf. It was he's the son of the famous Corky Carroll. His name is Clint Carroll Surfer, and so he had a surfing school.
All
You know,
right.
he
Okay.
followed in his dad's footsteps. He had a surfing school, so we marketed his surfing school, and he also had a food grade a natural sunscreen.
All
So
right.
that was the Shopify part store. So um yeah, so we did that, and then that's when I needed Brandon's help, obviously, and that's how we hooked up. That was like
Okay.
our first client together.
All right. I see. So did you have a business name of your own, or did you just join forces and become Design Dream Labs?
Yeah, I kind of just joined forces. I always knew that I wanted to have my own brand and doing personal development like Brendan Burchard, but I always what I wanted to my idea was I wanted to have an agency, a marketing agency for clients if of my own, for clients to be able to you know, to so I can market them like as a next level the higher ticket uh, offering type of thing. So I figured instead of building my own agency, let me hook up with Brandon. Let's both work together and build his aid. He invited me to help scale his agency, and so I did that. So I figured, yep, that makes sense. You know, building a team type of
Okay.
stuff.
So how did that go? What happened then? So did he, when you joined forces with him, did he already have a lot of clients, or?
He had his own clients, and you know, as a one-man show, he had his own clients. And so when we got together, it was interesting. When we got together about it, we decided that we were going to serve the real estate niche. So
Okay.
I became a part of just one part of the niche for his agency, and we tried to get clients that way.
Okay.
We did that for about 6 months, um, and then that's when COVID happened.
All right.
Okay,
Okay.
the lockdown, and so we lost all those clients, and so we had to go back to square one. By that time, I had moved up north for about another 6 months. Some friends were taking care of us. Like I said, my wife, you know, her illness, it that was a whole nother uh, aspect of what I had to deal with.
Right.
And so we had some friends that take care of us up north. So all I did was I did LinkedIn outreach for the real estate niche, and then that
LinkedIn.
I, yeah, LinkedIn.
All right. So
I built a massive massive email list, which is great. But
what were you doing? Just messaging people.
it was, yeah, we had a methodology of uh I would message on LinkedIn. I would find all the real estate agents or agencies, and I would have a series of messaging to them, and then after that I would I would get the email and follow up on the emails,
All
right?
right. Okay.
And all to book an appointment. So I would like contact 50 people per day. That was my goal, 50 a day, and then I would get them all on a spreadsheet and just cycle them all in, and like it really took all day. It was great. It was a great experience, let me tell you that. But I don't want to do that again. Glad I don't have to do that anymore. But
So okay. So COVID hit, and what was the plan then? How did you cope
okay,
with that?
so what happened was I came back to LA. Brandon and I got the office, and we basically I just started helping him with his existing clients, which was more the home, you know, the home improvement niche. And then we just started getting more clients, more through referral. and just serving those clients. So we were up to about 10 clients. We were building the agency. We were getting down. We were building teams, getting VAs, getting getting our crew, our videographers, our graphic designers,
So
and
what clients were you getting then? Was that still in the real estate or?
no, the real estate was that fell off. So it was his niche, the home improvement agency.
Oh, right. Okay.
Hmm.
So home improvement contractors who do home improvement.
Yeah.
They,
Yep. They weren't all contractors. Some were like uh, uh like patio furniture and
all right.
just things that related to improving the home. But the methodology that worked was the contractors, like I said, because we'd have to do an in-home appointment, and that was one key factor to making it successful. Because like I said, the show up rate was 100%. Because it was the company showing up to the client. There was the clients showing up to the customers' homes.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, that really
So,
helped out.
so how were you finding your clients then? Were you
That
still in
th
lockdown then? How were you finding them?
then it was just word of mouth, word of mouth. And that kept us busy enough. It was yeah, it was easy word of mouth. We tapped into because the contractors, they have their own network and they all know each other. So we had great success with one, and they would refer someone else. So we were up to about 10, and that really kept us busy, and we were serving them. But then I think what happened was the effects of the lockdown kind of made some of them nervous, and they were falling off too. So the one thing I wanted to point out is that at the same time we're winning, we're actually losing too. Like that's a reality. It's not all just win, win, win the whole
Yeah.
way. So with one client, we're getting massive results, and they're happy and is growing, getting awards from that. But on other clients, um, it's not as successful, you know.
And why is
So
that
there's
then? What
um
what was the difference?
the difference was, I would say, yeah, so yeah, like, so moving forward, we qualify our clients more now, and yeah, they have to have a good follow-up, committed follow-up system, appointment setter. They have to have a master sales team, like basically our award-winning client was, they said as soon as they get a lead, they turn into a sales company. So in other words, like, they get that lead, and they really maximize that lead. They squeeze they squeeze every bit of juice out of that. And
Right. Okay. So you were running the ads and getting them the lead, and then they had to do the rest of
y-
the work.
they have to do their part. So the clients, we didn't have good results. They were kind of flaky about follow-up. They're kind of nonchalant about sales, and so, obviously, it's a partnership. So
Right.
that's
Okay.
yeah. So it's key to have good clients too.
Right. Okay. So was it like the smaller businesses that don't have the follow up in place that where it was falling down?
Yeah, yeah. Just in place doesn't necessarily mean have to be the smaller businesses. Just at that section, the follow up, and the sales. If it's not up to par, then it shows.
So you got the two comma club with one of those clients, and then so what happened next? How has that grown now for you?
Well, okay, so we repeated um that with another client, another home improvement client. The first one was a turf company, and then this second one, we got a two comma club award for them with them. And they're a insulation company. Um,
Okay.
and they, they market themselves as an um energy conservation, but they do it through insulation, in a home's attic and stuff.
All right. Okay. So did you just duplicate the system?
Yes, yeah. We just duplicated it. And we even got better results because this company not only has that super sales team, but they actually created something they call a blitz, which is we help them recruit salespeople. We did recruiting funnels, so which is a whole nother thing we added to our system.
All right.
And we recruited, highly trained salespeople to go out and sell for 10 days and work 10 days out of the month and have 20 days off. So that's the new thing that got added through this company introduced that, and it's working. It was working like, it's working like clockwork.
So
As
tell
a
me
matter
more
of
about
fact,
that then. How
okay.
do
Well, let's see. So, yeah, we made recruiting funnels, put them out the same way, advertisement, little video advertisement, opt in, fill out the application, make an appointment, see if you qualify. The same procedure, except it's qualifying salespeople. And so the first time they did this is that fourth one, I believe. The first one they hit, I believe, like 750,000 in 10 days in sales.
right?
And then the next one they got, the goal is to hit 1 million, right? The next one they got super close, but I think didn't break it. But then the next one they broke, I think they broke 1 million
Okay, so
in
you
10
were
days.
so you made a funnel to recruit salespeople for this company.
Yes.
Okay.
We built as a matter of fact, yeah, two funnels, one to get them leads for their company,
Yeah.
and then the recruiting funnel to get salesmen for them. So that's how we've been using funnels for multiple ways for a company.
All right. Okay, and you were running ads then for the recruitment one as well.
Yes. Facebook ads. Yep.
All right. Okay. So what other were you doing any other personal development or learning anything else? How did they come up with that sales system to get the recruitment, or did you come up with that?
That was our client. Yeah.
All right. Okay.
This client, they see us as their partner,
Right.
as basically their marketing department.
Yep.
And which is what we want. We're gearing it towards like a white glove treatment.
Right. Okay.
They can talk to us on Voxer, on the Voxer app, where it's like a walkie-talkie. Like
Yep.
they could just message, and our media buyer, they could talk straight to our media buyer. They could talk straight to anybody in our team. So it's a really close relationship, as it's almost as if we have an office in their building type of thing.
All right. Okay. So how many people's on your team now then?
Well, there's me and Brandon, his brother Blake Guthrie. He does all the technical work. There's Dusty Ledbetter. He's our media buyer, our Facebook ads manager. He's the one that just is down there turning the knobs. There's for this client, they have like 4 different locations, or
All right. Okay.
going to 4 different locations. So it's like turn up Vegas, okay, turn down turn down Dallas. He's got it like that. He's a really good media buyer. Yeah, we're really part of our success.
So apart from the Design Dream Labs, have you got anything else? Because I know you're very interested in the music. Is there another side that you're doing?
Yeah,
On
absolutely.
your own?
I'm what I want to do is leverage the success of the agency, tap into the agency and all the networking and team building skills that I developed, and really go back to personal development, but this time is geared towards the purpose-driven artistpreneur.
All right. Okay.
And I want to do coaching. So I want to be able to present. What I want to do is continue my music career, okay, where I left off. It's been almost 20 years since I was highly active in the scene, writing music, making music. I'd be in like 3 bands at a time,
Well,
constantly DJing, constantly constantly act. It was full time for me. That's all, and I loved it. I realized I accomplished so much. I didn't know then because it was so much fun. It didn't feel like work, so I didn't know
Yeah.
how much I was accomplishing. Now I look back, it's like, okay, I really developed my tribe back then. I just didn't realize it. So now, I'm tap into that, but I need to be a product of my product. So I want to build my success quickly with my music, and then apply all my personal development, my business development, the marketing, make myself a success in that realm, get my own 2 comma clubs for awards for doing that, for doing
Right.
coaching, and maybe even selling my music, um, and then present and then help other artistpreneurs do the same thing too.
All right. Okay.
Hmm.
So one point is, who does the sales in the design dream lads? Who brings on your new clients? Who does the sales aspect?
Okay, see, that's a perfect question. Remember how I said you could be winning and losing at the same time?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're winning, getting all these results for our clients, making them millionaires, right? But at the same time, we weren't doing that for ourselves. Like I said, we had got our clients through word of mouth,
Yeah.
but we weren't using our own systems for ourselves, and so we weren't growing as an agency.
Right. Okay.
Okay, which was a really big concern for me, because 3 years into this, well, at that time, 2 years into this, we were getting awards, but at the same time, our agency wasn't growing. So from last year, Funnel Hacking Live, to this year, um, we focused on that, preparing for that. And long story short, this year we hooked up with Mike Barron, who
Mike.
you
Yeah.
interviewed already.
He's been a guest. Yeah.
Yes, he has. He's a great guy. I opted into his system last year, went through his program. He's the kind of guy that I could roll with. Um, and I noticed that he was doing it right too. So uh, I opted in with him. So I introduced him to Brandon, and we talked. And since Mike has already, proof of concept, he had already built a multi-million-dollar agency, moving forward to an academy. And so one thing I want to point out is one thing of success is align yourself with the right people. And so we we went ahead and hired on Mike to be a mentor for our agency. And we're already 2 weeks into the training and prepping, and we're already I'm expecting big results even within the next quarter.
All right. Awesome.
Yeah.
So is that focused on sales? Is that
Yes,
what
that's, yeah,
Mike's
because
focusing on?
that is Mike's thing. His $1 million closer, his sales academy. He'll supply the salespeople, the fact finder, appointment setters, and salespeople. So that yeah, that's gonna kick off. So
All
so
right. Okay.
you're talking this is real time. You're catching us on our ascension.
That's awesome. What do you think's been the biggest hurdle you've overcome on your journey then so far?
The biggest hurdle. Um, mm, I would say not the biggest hurdle, but just the biggest thing that helped me get over all the hurdles is mindset, and just keep keep believing, keep moving forward, keep faithing, keep committed, tapping into that higher power, that spiritual side, that when your mindset runs out, tap into that more, that I call it an everlasting source of functionality, high functionality. Tap into that, and like I said, having faith, slash commitment, and keep moving forward. And yeah, because all hurdles are going to come from all shapes and sizes. From a bad day, a bad a bad episode with a client,
Yeah.
a co you know a partner. um you know it's just going to come at you. All the adversity is going to come at you, guaranteed. And it's going to be relentless. So um yeah, just even just life happens, right?
Yep.
And so it really, yeah, those are all the hurdles, but to get all those hurdles is just keep your mindset tapped in with your higher source of inspiration.
All right. Okay. So
And vision.
what does a typical day look like for you now then?
Okay, typical day. Since I help run operations, I'm in charge of operations. Uh, we use Asana
All right.
and doing tasks. We also use Slack for communication, Voxer. So basically my job now, I have an assistant. My job is to make sure that nothing falls through the cracks because we got so many moving parts going on. Building these funnels. We're always improving the funnels, improving the methodology chain, doing funnel audibles, right? And so there's always a task for someone to do this little, make this little change, do this or do this little graphic or change this wording, change this messaging on this landing page on the button. So there's all these little tasks. So I'm constantly just checking my inbox for anything that mentions me, which I'm pretty much mentioned on every task. And I just make sure I make sure that all the team members are getting what they need, any kind of direction. And what I try to do is keep Brandon out of the mix as CEO so he can do CEO stuff and grow the vision of the business. And so, yeah, I'm basically an Asana guy.
And how are you going to fit in time then for this other new vision that you've got for the music side? Where's that fitting in?
Okay, I have a deal with Brandon that I get Thursdays as my brand day.
Oh, right. Okay.
Okay. And I can work on my off time, weekends. Yeah, so I'll get it in there. Right now I am focused on the agency, so it's okay. But as soon as the agency is scaled up a bit and getting to the point where my goal for both me and Brandon is to build the team where we can both get out of operations and get back to working together, growing the business and growing our brands.
Right. Okay.
As influencers. So I really see that's where I could kick in and have the freedom to help myself, help Brandon, and help others, offer my services to others. So I do have an exit strategy.
Okay, cool. Okay, I have one last question for you.
Yes.
If you're going to be an animal for 24 hours, what would you be and why?
An animal. Man, I never thought of that. I remember you asking this I watched a couple of your episodes. Maybe a dog.
Yeah.
Dog.
Have you got a dog?
I had dogs. I had pit bulls when I was growing up. I don't have one now, but I love dogs. They love me, and they're very they're very intuitive, very loyal, very loving. They'll receive your love. They'll give love. They'd prefer that. And they roam in packs. And yeah, I guess I thought about an animal that can fly, but really yeah, those are the things that I admire is
Yeah. Awesome.
yeah.
So if anybody wants to find out more or follow you on any social platforms, where should they go?
You can friend request me on my Facebook, Steve Ezaki, or Instagram, Steve_Ezaki. And I have a LinkedIn with my same name, with under my name. I have a TikTok.
Oh, do you? Oh, I need to go
Yeah,
follow you then. What's your TikTok?
that's that's where I've been playing like more of my music stuff.
Okay, cool.
It's Punkster AF, PUNXXTER.
Awesome. Okay,
Yeah,
thank you so much for taking some time out of your day to chat with me. It's
sure
been
thing, Polly.
awesome. Thank you
It's
so
my
much.
pleasure. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you for listening. I really hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, please take a moment to leave us a 5-star review and subscribe to the podcast on your podcast software. It really helps us rank the podcast and get more listeners. And if you're over on YouTube, please subscribe and hit the bell. Every Friday, 8 a.m. GMT, we release a brand new episode. And until then, have a good one.